everyone. Welcome to Nursing You, the channel that's all about supporting nurses, providing information, sharing, and discussing topics that matter to you. I am Lisa Blake, and I want to welcome you if it's your first time or if it's your 151st time. Welcome to Nursing You. I want to talk to you today. I'm just looking at my notes here because I don't want to forget anything. A few weeks ago, I talked to you about what to do when you're paging the doctor and how you want to prep for that. Today, as a follow-up, I want to talk to you a little bit about what goes into the document when you are writing down your interaction with the doc or your attempts to page the doc. So I want you to listen closely as we discuss this issue. So after you've paged the docket, I want you to listen to a few videos that I've posted about templating your life. So what I mean by templating your life is get yourself a routine, set pattern, a way that you do things, especially in your documentation. So I want to see when you are putting a narrative note in the chart that you start out with the crucial elements for your patient, their vital signs, what happened that day that was unanticipated, how the therapy was going, and the response from the patient, and have it look like that every single time, because that will help you not have to try to figure out, okay, where do I put this, where do I put this piece of information or this piece of data. It helps you not have to think about that over and over again. You'll get accustomed to writing in a certain way, and it will it can't help you but to look more polished and professional in your written communication. Another thing about that is if you template your life in documentation, you will be less likely to leave out a critical piece of information, a critical piece of data, if you do that. So that's my tip for you today. A bonus at the beginning. How about that? And by the way, if you like this channel, if you like the content that I'm sharing, or even if you want to make suggestions for more content, if you have a question, if you want to talk about something, let me know. Definitely make a comment or place a comment in below. And as always, if you like this content or you know somebody that you think will be beneficial for, please share and click the subscribe button, the notification bell, and hit that like button. Thank you so much. So after you've paged the doctor, I want you to think about, so you paged the doctor, but they didn't respond. So how do I document that in the chart? It's been longer than the routine that we're accustomed to, or longer than our policies say, before I page the doctor again. So before you page the doctor again, I want you to document that in the chart that you paged them the first time. But there's certain elements that you need to put in and certain ones that you need to leave out. Why do you need to leave out information? Okay, what you're leaving out really is judgment. And I know it's really hard because you've got that patient right in front of you and you really need to talk to your colleague, which is the doctor, to get more information and to give more information in order to develop a plan for this patient moving forward. So it's frustrating, I know. But what you'll want to document in the chart is that physician, for example, Dr. Brown paged, give the number, at 10:45 p.m. regarding RN concern for patient, and you name the patient, David White, his blood glucose of 525 grams per deciliter. No response at 11 p.m. And you make that note. So notice a couple things about this. It gives the crucial elements that include that you paged the right number, that what your concern was when you called, and it's specific, right? It's not, oh, I was worried about the patient's blood sugar. Blood sugar of what? And anytime you write a number in medicine and nursing, you want to make sure you always, always, always include the units. So whether you're talking about units of insulin, how many units you gave, or whether you're talking about a patient's heart rate of 12, oh God forbid, of 69 beats per minute, you always want to signify what you're talking about. That makes your communication clear, and that builds your credibility in terms of how you come across as a professional. The other thing you want to do is you want to take a quick peek, and it will help you to check to verify that those numbers are correct. The contact for the doc, the blood sugar, or whatever it is that you are including in your note. Now notice what's not there. What's not there is your judgment. Oh my God, Dr. Brown is, notorious for not returning pages. Oh my gosh, I cannot even believe that, it's taken this long. Dr. Brown never answers pages on the first try. You never want to accuse a colleague, be accusatory, or be judgmental in any of your documentation. You want to state very factually what happened or what didn't happen. What didn't happen was no response. No response. That's all you have to say, and that really tells the whole story. Now, what happens if you reach Dr. Brown and maybe Dr. Brown didn't do what you anticipated? So let's talk about a patient that's going septic. Maybe you anticipated that the doc would order blood cultures, UACNS, maybe even ABGs, depending on what the issue is. And instead, Dr. Brown just said, okay, so you are calling to inform the doctor of your concern because the patient's response to the breathing treatments, the last 2 breathing treatments that you gave, the pulse ox was refractory to those breathing treatments. There is no improvement in the patient's breathing. There is no improvement in the pulse oximetry, and you're concerned. And so you think the patient may be going septic. You're not really sure, but you know that this is not good for the patient, right? Maybe the patient's a retainer and they're COPD, and you don't want to up the oxygen, so you're concerned. So you page Dr. Brown. He seemed unconcerned, but you're concerned, and you state what you're concerned about. Last 2 breathing treatments, refractory to for the patient. They did not respond. Their respiratory rate did not improve. Their pulse ox did not improve. And now maybe even their heart rate's going up and climbing. So what you put in the note is that you put your concern. Dr. Brown paged, responded at, Dr. Brown paged at the number and the time, responded at blah, blah, blah. RN stated concern for the patient, patient Mr. White, respiratory rate, and you put the rate and put the old rate and the new rate. That way, again, it's just factual. It's not your judgment. It's factual. These are objective data points. The respiratory rate, was 28 and is now 32 with the patient at rest. The pulse ox was 92. The pulse ox is 90 now. So that makes it very clear what you communicated to the physician. And then what you say to close out the note is no new orders. No new orders, no judgment about, I can't believe, I'm concerned and I consider this, progressing towards an emergent situation, and doctor seemed unconcerned. You never want to say that. You never want to be accusatory of another colleague in your statements, even though you may believe that they're wrong. what it does is it actually sets you both up for deposition, to be deposed. And if you're wrong, and and for some reason the physician was right, maybe not in this scenario, but in whatever's going on with your concern, then that sets you up for scrutiny. And so it's just not a good practice to be accusatory in your note. So you just, by saying no new orders, that makes it abundantly clear that the physician decided not to act. And so I think that I'm sure that this is going to be helpful for you in your nursing documentation. Again, consider templating your life. Make sure you write the same piece of data at the same spot in your narrative. If you start out with, patient David White, so and so years old, here are his vitals, here's his pain score, all of the things that are pertinent right up front, for example, and then you continue. Or you can always make your notification communication in an S-bar style. What is the situation? What is the background? What is your assessment? And what are the recommendations? So I hope this was helpful for you. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel, Nursing You. Looking forward to our next time together.